The One Piece! The One Piece is real!
Can we get much higher? So high.
Ahoy! It be a great day here at KEKCast on Pirate Day, September 19th. I am your host, the KEKFILA, aka Sage, and today I have with me the strongest wizard. How are you doing today?
Yo, what's good, man? I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing so good. Thank you so much for asking. And today is episode 14 of the KEKCast. I don't have a sponsor today, but that's not really an issue. I've had basically a whole hiatus for set 3, and I don't want to say I blame somebody in particular. I can only blame myself, but I had someone planned for an episode, Batsu, and then that guy is actually super busy, so I want to get back in the swing of things of doing podcasts basically at least once a week, maybe twice a month kind of thing. But I'm glad I had the strongest wizard here to help me out with some content for today. So great. And I actually met you in California beginning of September for Pasadena.
Yeah. I met you at DXN specifically, which is a local card shop out in California, and I was throwing a little local tournament the day before regionals for Pasadena.
Yeah, and that was pretty fun. They had like another tournament like 30 minutes away for a Shanks, but I liked your times better, so it worked out a lot better that way. And I've talked to you a little bit once before. This is before I make content. I think I just bought your Doflamingo mat. It's right on my desk right now as a like a mouse pad.
Awesome.
But yeah, because I've always been a Doflamingo fan. Well, I guess since OP, I just play Doflamingo, to be honest. So
fair enough.
That's with that. And yeah, I guess I want to get into everything about the strongest wizard today, but maybe a little bit less One Piece at first, getting to know you a bit.
Sure.
I guess I can ask, why the name or persona strongest wizard?
Yeah. So I did my research on some of your podcasts right before this, and I knew this was going to be probably one of the first few questions, and I wanted to be prepared for this. A lot of people, so I got into the content creation through Digimon. And when I first started playing Digimon, I needed to create my Bandai account. And I decided to go with the strongest wizard because at the time, my girlfriend and I were super crazy binging Harry Potter. And in the Harry Potter series, one of the characters says the phrase, the strongest wizard. So I was like, you know what? The strongest wizard, that makes sense. Let's just do that. Just something super random and kind of crazy. My girlfriend's her Bandai account name is Dobby is Free. And it's just really, really funny.
Okay.
No really correlation to
anything. If you ever, I don't know if you've seen this anime, I'm kind of waiting to watch it. Mashal. It's literally a wizard who just all he is strength. So
yeah, I literally thought about that too. I have a lot of people always messaging me asking me like, dude, strongest wizard, that makes no sense. Like, how are you so strong but a wizard? Like that doesn't make any sense.
That's what makes it really funny, You
yeah,
could say
exactly.
Like the smartest warrior or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's pretty cool. Did you have like a gamer tag before that? Or did you make content before the strongest wizard was the idea?
Well, yeah, so like a little bit about like why I went with like the branding that I did of the character of like the wizard in the hat. Because in Digimon there's a Digimon character called Wizardmon. He's like this little wizard that dies for saving these two girls essentially, and it's just like a meme. It's like really funny, and I was like, hey, I'll just like make my whole brand off of that. That was pretty much it. I just thought it would be really funny.
I think it's a good brand, my whole thing is just like Chick-fil-A, so it's kind of I guess so. Okay, that's pretty neat. And I did want to ask, outside of card games in general, what is like the strongest wizard outside of card games or even before card games? Guess who are you?
So I've been playing card games for a very long time. Started with Yu-Gi-Oh, moved to Magic, and then back to Yu-Gi-Oh to Pokemon, and so I've been super into all the card games. But for a long time, I stopped, and I actually used to be a, a DJ tour photographer.
Okay.
So I used to do. I have a lot of skills in graphic design and video editing and photography, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I used to go on a couple like tour buses and just like travel the world for like 3 to 4 months at a time, photographing concerts.
Yeah,
I did that for a very long time.
Electric concerts, like what kind of concerts?
Yeah. Do you listen to EDM at all?
Yeah.
You do? Okay. Have you heard of a DJ called Matt Zoe?
Probably not. I don't think so.
Okay, what about Above and Beyond?
Yeah, Above and Beyond. That's a really big one. Yeah.
Okay, what about Porter Robinson?
I don't think so.
No. Okay,
yeah.
so Above and Beyond, I used to be their tour DJ photographer. So I technically they own a label called Anjuna Beats, and I used to be a photographer that was like essentially like signed to Anjuna Beats. And so I did that for like 5 years.
Okay, that's pretty neat. I know Above and Beyond is really big. I've had friends like, dude, Above and Beyond's changed my life. You know, like literally that kind of talk. So I listen to it and I kind of like this music, and all my Spotify changed to stuff like that, or Gareth Emery and like the Daily Mix, stuff like that. So that's pretty neat. I like that.
Yeah. I did that for a very long time. I got like super into it, and then like kind of like one day to the next, I kind of was like, I'm a little bored of it, so I just wanted to change paths and stuff like that. So I do marketing now. I do like email marketing, SEO design, web design, stuff like that.
That sounds pretty good. I think that's really neat. I do want to talk about that too. I could talk about my past with you off of this, right? This is mostly just about you, but I've had an interesting thing, especially a transition with what's going on with One Piece. And I mean, especially, you know, I'll go into this later, but with kind of Will to Win gaming and how that's going, that's gotten really big, right? Compared to where it started. And, you know, I've taken time off of like work, like not to take off work. I put part-time in my job just to do more stuff with this. So,
no, that's awesome. Yeah.
Which is great, but you know, wanted to go up there you're doing a really good job with the Strongest Wizard. I don't know. I mean, you're doing like a thing, you're selling mats and stuff. I guess that's we can transition to that in a minute, but with that, you said card games specifically, right? Card games. So you played Yu-Gi-Oh growing up. How old are you now?
I just turned 30.
You turned 30. Okay. I'm 28 to give you that example. So we're
cool,
not too far away from each other. So you played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh growing up, probably grew up and you bought some cards from 7-Eleven and Toys
R Us and all that good stuff.
Now, Digimon things I guess took off. Why did you pick up Digimon? What happened with that? That was very COVID times.
I wasn't playing card games before that. I was playing Pokemon very competitively at the time, and then I worked really hard to get my invite to Worlds. I got my invite, and then COVID happened. And then after COVID happened, I just like dropped TCG in general. Just like I said, you know what? I'm not gonna play cards anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And then a friend of mine that's a huge Digimon fan was like, "Hey, dude, there's a new card game out called Digimon. Are you down to play?" And I'm like, "I don't want to spend any money. I'm good." And he's like, "Dude, I'll buy you all the cards." And I said, "Okay, let's do it."
Sounds good. Pretty good.
Let's do it. So and then I just started playing Digimon, and that's pretty much it.
Did you buy a single card of Digimon, or did you get crack addicted and you had to buy?
The issue is that I always end up spending, and I always end up like getting into something and then like diving like head first into it, right? So I actually ended up becoming more competitive than my friend.
That's me and my brother.
Card game.
So
gotcha.
Yeah. My brother gets me into every card game. He got me into Vanguard, like back in like 2017, and I didn't want to play that card game, but you know, I went to like a world championship for Vanguard. I loved Vanguard a whole lot. COVID happened, things went down. the card game sucks, right? That's basically that's actually the bigger issue that happened in 2020. They changed a couple mechanics of the card game, and it wasn't really fun anymore.
Right.
To at least to me, and I guess the main thing there is like, yeah, you get someone gets a friend to get you into the game, and all of a sudden you're like crack addicted, and it looks like I have to use my own money now for these cards. And, yeah.
Yeah. I oftentimes try to like plus out of the things that I do with cards. I'm trying to like actually make money and not lose money playing this game, but it can be kind of rough sometimes.
Yeah. With One Piece, it's not so bad. My deck's like max rated. I think I've plussed, especially with how easily profitable even, I'm not even saying high level tournaments, like, like just even locals can be, especially the beginning of OP01. It was crazy, right?
Oh yeah.
People were buying Kaido promos like four for $80 and like just some crappy cards. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. If people are buying them, I guess I'll sell them.
OP01 One Piece was so different than what it is now. Yeah. It's so crazy different in a good way, So
have you got a chance to go to any pre-releases this week?
I have. I've been to two at DXN, and it was a good time. The first time I got third, and then the last one I won, which was pretty cool.
Can I ask what you did? Like, what leader did you play?
Kid. Yeah, I love Kid in general. So, I got just a Kid
first, and then I got fourth in another one, and I played Croc both times. Croc's super good. Like, it was
really.
Yeah. Will and I spent quite a bit of time talking about this, and then he played it, and he's like, "Yeah, this is ridiculous." Like, it's because the meta's too slow. Dang. The whole meta of like playing 5 costs, because everyone had like 5 costs that were good. It was really slow, so you can afford not to deal with like Zoro.
Right.
But Kid's good. Like, it's not bad at all.
Right.
It's just that that Croc, people would be like, they couldn't play a 5 cost. Like, they'd have to like play around it. Like, oh, you played a 6 cost? Well, I guess you kind of wasted your turn a little bit.
Yeah, I totally see that. Yeah. I couldn't get away from the 12K double swing.
Yeah, no, it's really threatening. You could just use Kid skill all game, and that's actually it's really funny. There's some people that play decks that brick a lot, like that have no counter. Like Blue Croc is a deck that sometimes runs out of counter if they draw bad, right?
Right.
And they all of a sudden they face a Kid and they're like, okay, I'm not worried about Kid, and then they just swing 7/7. 7/7/7/7/7, and they're like, wait a minute, he's actually just using Kid Leader skill. He didn't even place a single card. He just killed me with 7s the whole time. I couldn't do anything. So it works against bricked cards. So I agree with you there. Okay.
Yeah, pre-release is fun. Yeah,
I
liked it.
With that, we'll go into the beginning of One Piece. How did you even hear about the One Piece card game?
I was playing Digimon at the time, and it was around Anime Expo, and they were like doing the showcase where they were teaching people how to play, and I was like, oh man, this game I actually love anime, and I love the One Piece anime. So I was like, yo, I kind of want to try this out. I tried it at Anime Expo, and I hated it with a passion. I was like, this game sucks. I just felt like it was like super slow. Like, it was just like boring. And at the time, I didn't even like realize it, but I was playing it and I just didn't like it. And then as the months went by and it started getting closer to the release date, I started getting really, really excited about it. And then I started to design all the playmats. So we can get into that if you want, but I started designing playmats, and so pretty much I started designing those playmats because I couldn't find anyone that were doing playmats, like literally at all. Like, I would go on Etsy, and like they had people that were just like uploading art from YouTube and printing it, selling it, and then then you had like a whole bunch of people that were like just selling like basic pictures off of like old One Piece art and stuff. And I literally was like, dude, why don't we have anything for this for like One Piece yet? And at the time, the card game wasn't out, so I totally get like they weren't gonna do anything. And so at the time, I was like super into the anime, and so I designed a whole bunch. I designed like 2 mats, and I designed them specifically for Digimon. And I designed them for myself, and I had a whole bunch of people at DXN telling me like, dude, why don't you sell these? Like, that's kind of a good idea. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't think anyone's gonna want them. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think anyone would like them. And so after that, I just started selling them, and it kind of took off. So
Do you have like
people
an
actually
Etsy
like my
you do it
mat.
out of, or do you just kind of do it all through PMs at the time?
I actually have a website.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a Wix website that I
Wix
sell
website.
out
I'll
of.
make sure to link it in the bio.
Yeah,
I didn't know
Yeah.
actually know you had a website. I did mine through PMs, I think. Oh well,
Yeah,
I think you were doing a lot of requests through PMs, and then you dealt with the payment and the address after that. But
yeah. So at the time, I was doing. If do you know what Airtable is?
no.
It's Airtable's like essentially like a Google Doc, and I just had like a form on there. And so pretty much if you're interested in a playmat, I just send you this link to the form. You fill it out, and then I collect payment afterwards. So it worked out really, really well. But then people were like, "Dude, this is kind of sketch." Like it's
Yeah,
the URL.
they want to see something where like they can put their debit card into it. That's something that's even
Exactly.
even that's actually more sketch, right? So
Yeah, yeah. That's super weird that people love to do that debit card transactions. When me personally, I'm like, yo, PayPal is like so much safer. You know?
they I don't understand
But-
that either because it's just an email, right? So
Yeah.
and the thing
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
we're paying you, not the other way around. So
Yeah,
it's
but you know what I was gonna say, that a lot of people, a lot of like family members buy mats for them as gifts and things like that. So like I've had like moms reach out to me and say like, hey, you know, at the time they're like, hey, do you have like a place where I can process my debit card because I feel more comfortable that way, and you know, well, that totally makes sense, you know.
yeah. I don't even know how that works. Do you have to like use Squarespace or something or how?
Wix has its own platform,
Okay.
built in the back end. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I just didn't know he had an Etsy. I have a guy in my locals who does like an Etsy and such like that,
Nice.
but he has like a whole bunch of play mats. It's kind of I think
Awesome.
he does a lot of the middle work. He doesn't do any of the artwork. So he talks to graphic designers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think there's actually a little bit of drama. I'm sure you've seen. Did you see that Robin mat that I won? And
Yes, I saw the one you won. Yeah.
yeah, and then there's like a 9th place one. So people wanted the 9th place one. It was like the dumb looking Robin, the fake
Okay.
Robin, right?
Yeah.
And people wanted to buy that one. So I sent them the link to there, and people saw all the art on there. And they say, hey, this is like stolen art. This is my art. But I talked to my buddy, like this guy's like an angel pretty much, right? And
Right.
I asked him what's going on here, and he said, well, sometimes I'll talk to an artist and I'll get it from an artist, but that could have been like the wrong guy, right?
Yeah.
And so like he doesn't even know that middle ground. When you just make your own stuff, you don't have to worry about that, right? But
Right.
He actually has these things that might happen every now and then.
Yeah.
And that's like
Yeah.
you know, copyright infringement, which sucks. Like, well, I don't know even how to
Right.
that would deter a lot of people from even trying to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've really thought about doing that, because like the great thing about doing something like that is that one is that you have obviously you give a lot more shine to up and coming artists or artists in general, right? And you give them like a piece, and that's really awesome. But and you get like a whole bunch more done, right? Like, can you imagine how many mats you could do when you have 10 people working on designs, right? But I don't know. I just kind of felt like, you know, it comes when it comes. I do these playmat polls on my YouTube channel where I have people actually choose which mat they want me to design next for them. So
I think that's really unique because you mix it into your content, right? Like you
Yeah.
have your mats, then you have your content. They're kind of mixed together. He doesn't have that. He just has the mats,
Right.
and he already
Right,
has
right,
his own business doing other things. But then he started doing
Right.
this. I think he used to do more cultured dawn and cultured sleeves and cultured mats, but he's brought the
Yeah.
culture down a little bit because I kind of want to be a little more family friendly, I think. And I'm like,
Right,
but bro,
yeah.
the money, I don't think the money was that crazy, okay, from cultured stuff.
Sure.
But
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy, dude.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. I don't know if you know that market. I only talk about this market. The people who know this, they know I use like cultured sleeves and things like that, right?
Right.
And so this is part of that audience. I don't know the country. It's some sort of Taiwanese area, Singapore, right?
Okay.
A lot of those people they sell a lot of those lewd or even extremely lewd like sleeves and stuff because it sells. You know, it's not it's not abnormal in their country or Japan. I don't know if you've ever been to Japan before, and
I have.
It's that kind of culture is it's like completely normal to like see basically just hentai. Like on
it's
everything.
just normal.
Yeah.
But
over here, it's like, oh no, I can't have my kid looking at these. It's funny. I go to locals. And I'll see some kids and I'll put my sleeves upside down so they don't see that. And they're like, they're like, I know what's under there. they say that. Do you like it because of the movies? So I'm like, oh my God, these kids are cringe. These kids
That's hilarious because, like, honestly, I've had people message me about my mats sometimes, and like with some of my female characters, they'll be like, why isn't there enough why aren't you showing? And I'm like I'm like, well, honestly, I just don't like, I'm not like that kind of like you'll never catch me with like a lewd mat or anything like that. I'm totally cool with it. I don't care, I'm not gonna like talk trash
but
about
you don't want to sell it
because
it's in the middle. I get it.
I just want
I remember it's actually really funny. True had, I think one of his first few mats was like a Nami mat that was kind of sexy, but the boobs, like, it was still sexy, but the boobs weren't big enough for like, is that even Nami's body? Like, listen, we're One Piece fans. We know how big her boobs are. This isn't right. Like, we gotta fix this. That's really funny to talk about. Actually, that's a really funny topic to go over. So you're making these One Piece mats, and I know in set 1, I don't think you were making like too much content. I think I saw a short of yours. I think everyone had the same idea of, I think Jet Pistol's bullshit, and I think I saw that short a few times, like on YouTube.
A buddy of mine, he reached out to me and he was like, hey dude, we should start doing some YouTube shorts together. And I was like, yeah, let's check it out. So I did a couple of shorts that kind of took off a little bit, that were mainly based around like law and like pistol and like things like that, and just like how much bullshit that deck could really be sometimes, And I did pretty well. It's also just super funny, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the important thing is I think you guys are having fun, right? That's like
exactly
the big thing, right? You wouldn't,
right?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I'm sure you've seen like these Yu-Gi-Oh shorts where they do these shorts that are pretty funny. Even out of the context, I don't understand half the cards, so I don't know the context of what they're saying. But they are funny, and you can do something similar to One Piece, but really it's just ranting. And I have this idea. I take a shower every now and then. I have this idea, and my girlfriend hears me talking like this. I'm just thinking of like the most annoying, worst person to ever see at the local card shop. Like, oh, sorry guys, I'm late. I told you guys to wait 15 minutes for me, and they sit down their first game, and they're like, I'm sorry, I need to re-sleeve my deck. I'm still choosing. or you sit down and you're like, oh, you're playing that leader? I'm gonna change my deck. It's the first round, so they haven't changed it. Like the worst people you can fucking imagine.
I did something similar. I did a short where it was called when you lose to somebody and they're just like, they rub it in on you.
Oh.
And they're trying to give you there's always that person that you always play, and they like to like sit down with you and just tell you how bad you played or what you could have done better. And sometimes it's great because you're like, oh, like sometimes like when I lose or something like that, I'll ask like, you think I could have done something better? Like, you think I could have done this part? But sometimes you can read the room and you can tell someone's tilted. And they're just like, they don't want to talk to you, but you're like, that person's definitely be like, no, I'm going to tell you exactly why you're bad. And where you know what I mean?
That's really fun. That comes up. And, I'm sure everyone's like in the background, like, I'm thinking, well, just say this, just say that. That's the Orange Samurais. He says, well, don't do that. Just do it this way. But people will still do that. And I kind of just let them have it. Right. It's just, I don't ever tell anybody you could have done this. People usually always ask me like 90% of the time, could I have done something different? And I'm like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
just that good. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I don't say that. But especially at a big tournament, like a really big tournament,
Sure.
people always ask me that, like at a big tournament, like how could I have won? What could I have done better? Did I make a mistake?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, 100%. You're right. That's really funny that people. I really like it when someone loses and they make you feel bad for winning. Like they make you feel really fucking bad.
Yeah.
Like this guy played a third Mihawk and he scooped. I played a third Mihawk and he scooped, and he makes me feel bad for playing the game. So I don't know.
Yeah, dude, that happened to me at Pasadena Regionals.
Okay.
I played somebody and I was running Kid and they were playing Zoro.
Respectable.
And that's a pretty good matchup for Kid, I'd rather say. It's pretty good. Unless they don't see Gordon, I'm usually pretty chilling.
It's not unwinnable for Zoro, but yeah.
No, it's definitely not. No. But in that game, I got 3 ACOS kids out.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just livid, like the absolute one of the angriest people I've ever played before. And I totally get it, dude. Like I had Gibson, I had 3 ACOS kid, like I get it. I had it all, right? And at the very end, he's like, I fucking lost by a guy with a wizard hat on.
And the thing is, at the time, you can't like smile about it. You're just respectful. You don't want to cause problems.
Of course.
But as soon as they walk away, I'm always like,
yeah.
Because I can't be like, I can't feel bad for that kind of thing. It just eats me up inside. So yeah, I laugh about that confrontation all the time. I just have to wait till they walk away. Because one time a guy walked away and he saw me kind of grinning. Because I don't know how else to respond. It's kind of a nervous thing. If someone calls you out for being a fuckhead.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. That happens to me all the time. I like my general like nervous tick is just to laugh and like smile.
Yeah, exactly. So. Especially with confrontation. I'm like, I don't know what you want me to say, man.
Right.
Yeah. I get that. But it's really worse because I have this loser Don and I give that to them, and now I have to be like, I want to be very clear, not trying to be offensive here. But like usually like they're dying laughing at that point, when they see it.
Yeah,
so.
it's funny because someone came up to me and was like, dude, I played this guy at TXN the day before regionals. And this jerk gave me a loser Don. And he's like, what's all that about? I'm like, oh no, that's his thing, dude. Like it's totally cool. Like you did lose, but it's cool, And he's like, oh, okay, I get it.
What was he the guy who played Black? Is that the guy I'm thinking of?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I don't know what he was running at the time.
Do you know who it was? Because I have them all on video and it was fun. Just
oh really? Yeah.
Yeah. It was everyone had a fun time. I think one guy was miscommunicating about it. They're like confused. I'm like, oh yeah, I was gonna give this to you if I lost. Right.
Yeah.
It's more funny when I lose and I give you a loser Don.
Yeah.
Because I literally I remember I lost my Luffy, right? Like I lost my last round to this law player. I straight up like enjoy your Luffy, and I fucking chucked it at him. He didn't, but he got 10th place, which me and this guy are cool. We're fine. We're really good. Okay. But it was really funny if someone came at that out of context. I'm just chucking a loser down. I'm like, fuck, I lost. I'm like I don't feel. He doesn't feel bad for winning either.
Right.
So maybe he does feel a little bad because I would have got top 8, but can't collude. Yeah. So no collusion allowed.
True.
So yeah, just less law, I hope. So yeah, that's funny. So OP04, did you? I mean, it doesn't really matter about anything competitively. I mean, I play competitively. I think everyone doesn't want to lose, right? So they try to get better.
Right. Yeah.
And you recently got 15th at that national or that regional. And you've played online before and other things. What was your other kind of results based on that?
So, personal opinion, I really hate online. I think online is very, very interesting. I don't like to play it, but I usually just play it. I usually just play it online events, but I really kind of hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I understand that like it's online play is like a really good option for people that can't leave the house, don't have the money to do things.
Mhm.
I just personally know people that have cheated online,
Mhm.
and it's just kind of sad
Mhm.
for people to try like super hard online, and then for someone to just so easily, you know,
Mhm.
beat someone that way. And I understand too that like there's probably like when you play online, you're probably not going to play a cheater, right? Like
Mhm.
it's I think they're so far in between, honestly, like they're kind of rare,
Mhm.
but we just don't know. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I also too love the conversations and like the energy you have with an opponent in real life. Like
Mhm.
seeing someone's facial expressions and how they're acting, like their ticks and things like that. Like I think is really useful in a match.
Mhm. Yeah,
You know, reading someone
I can see that. There's pros and cons to both,
for
person,
sure.
online, to both of those. I just like to ask why, right? They feel
Yeah,
that way,
yeah,
which I mean, I'm pro not having to go somewhere, right? And travel
mm,
to spend it's a money thing at that
yeah,
point, right? The
for
game is
sure.
still the
Yeah,
same to me cuz I do have that interaction with my
mm,
opponent. I do over webcam cuz I'm just fucking weird, I guess. Um but I have
sure,
that
yeah,
same interaction with my opponent, right? I'm not worried about cheating either. I it's just the money cost. Like it adds a bit of stress and almost
yeah,
adds to like having to do better, right? It actually, and
yeah,
I'm not sure if it makes it easier or harder on either one. The game's still the same. I would say it's probably a little harder in person because all these people they have to take these things some people have to take this thing shit super seriously because like if I don't like
yeah,
make some of my money back, like this is kind of
yeah,
sucks. Like I can't do this
yeah,
again. I'm one
yeah,
tournament loss from never ever going to a tournament again, right? It's so that's not me, but people might be thinking that.
sure, 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 yeah,
Because
yeah,
people live paycheck to paycheck. People live tournament to tournament. Uh,
sure,
so,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah, of
and
course,
so on
yeah,
webcam, it's just so easy. And I remember one thing I'm really pro about online is that it comes from Vanguard. And in Vanguard, they had a lot of they didn't have like any online tournaments at all. And then COVID happened, and then like, okay, well, they didn't really have anything either. But then I thought webcam would be kind of the future because it just looked really fun to play with somebody and just pretending that, right? It was just super fun. Even if you're pretending just to be there, the game was fun in general. And when um, then they started doing webcam games, it ended up being a really interesting. I guess the super competitive part of webcam games kind of suck as far as the cheating goes, but it's very easy to see if that could happen or if that did happen. I would say, like, it's really easy to discern. I'm sure if anybody's serious about not having someone not cheat against them, they have everything recorded and they look back at it after to be like, did this person do this? And it's
yeah,
so I
yeah,
don't think I think that's a non-issue other than
hmm,
like if you're just not paying attention. If you're a cheater and you know your
right,
opponent's not paying attention, I mean anyone can be a cheater at that point, right? And
sure,
I'm sure there's
sure,
things that even in real games where soft cheating happens, right? That's something
yeah,
that they don't even know that they kind of cheated or like I don't really know what to do in this situation, right? Kind of
yeah,
thing. Like I saw a card in your hand. That's a thing. It's actually easier to see your opponent's cards on webcam. Funny enough,
yeah,
I'm
that's
sure you
true,
noticed
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I understand your most people. I think most people don't like webcam games.
yeah,
Just because they rather be with the everybody in person. Um,
yeah.
but I think I
I
just like
think
the cards. So.
I think competitively it's like not the best, but I think for practice and I think
Mhm.
for building a stronger community, it's
Mhm.
fantastic.
Mhm.
You know, like we know a lot of content creators and other people
Mhm.
like running online tournaments,
Mhm.
and that's like super awesome, whether it's webcam or sim. I
Mhm.
think just building a strong community in general
Mhm.
is, you know,
Mhm.
obviously a
Do,
positive.
do you ever
So
play on the sim?
I always play on the sim.
Always
I
play on the
probably
sim.
play on the sim all the
Mhm.
time. I'm like at my job,
Mhm.
like at my every break, every lunch, I just run like a couple games,
Really? Okay.
just
Interesting.
to keep like
I,
just to keep it refreshed in my head, you
mhm.
know,
Okay.
because I edit and I do all the content creation. So
Mhm. I used to be
yeah.
pretty negative sim just because Vanguard had their own kind of thing, like a
Mm,
third party someone doing it. I didn't like it. Um,
wow.
just because of the way it ran. I gotta say, Batsu does a really good job of making the sim functional. Now, the only problem it has is that people just need to find somewhere to play with. Because if you play against just randoms, sometimes it's actually counterintuitive if you're trying to actually get good practice in. And I'm sure there are a couple competitive discords, and this Will to Win Discord that I'm in, it's a competitive Discord because everyone on there is pretty much trying to get better. He has 170 patrons, and if people are putting 15 plus bucks a month into the game, 15 to 100 bucks a month in the game, they probably want to play against better opponents. And I always tell people, jump in that Discord and go to looking for a game and see if people want to do a game with you. That's not somebody who's just a random person on the sim, because the random person on the sim is Pirate 01345573 is probably going to make you worse at the game. But at that point, it may not be fun either. That's actually my bigger issue. It needs to be fun before it's competitive, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I like trying out like different techs. Like specific cards for specific matches that even are at random. Like different event cards or anything like that. Or but for the most part, if you're trying to get like good competitive play, you need like a group of people or a really great Discord, like you're mentioning. So
yeah, that's good. Yeah, and I feel most of the time it actually does come down to what content you're watching and what ideas you're getting from. And I'll even give you an example. Jackson Wong. He says he barely really practices this game. He watches content. And if 55-time Luffy winner can tell you that watching content has really got him better at the game, and it really has not too much to do with play, right? Then I think definitely absorb the game if you want to do well. Obviously he's playing the game, right? He knows how to play the game. In the general base mechanics, but then there's like an in-between thing where you can do kind of within the game or even outside the game, like by constructing your deck and what deck to bring to an event, and just playing the game, right? Because I'm sure most people, when they play against Jackson, they just think he's another player, but Jackson just wins. Like he just wins.
Yeah,
so.
he just has like this like really magic button that's just push to win, and he just just does that every round, and he's usually pretty good. Yeah, dude, Jackson's the GOAT, man. I mean, I think the way he learns to better himself is really great for him. But obviously not everyone is like Jackson, right? Not everyone's built like Jackson. I think there's a lot of people out there that need to be on Discords like you're mentioning and to be practicing grinding it out, because some people ain't built like Jackson. So.
Yeah, exactly, right. But I think the really important thing, he finds this game super fun, and he really embodies that. So I think that's a very important thing for anybody, and this goes into any passion, right? Or including card games. Try to find the fun in it. If you don't find the fun in it, I wouldn't do it. That's like a really big thing. In like in OP01, I started playing with Law, and I just never stopped playing with Law. I think the only other competitive deck I have ever taken into an online or in-person tournament was the Kid deck. I haven't taken anything else. Are you still high on Law set 4? Like, is that like your main thing you're still going to be playing?
Here's the thing: is like I have a love-hate relationship with Law. It's like my toxic ex that just won't go away. But there's times when we get along sometimes, and there's times where the deck does me dirty. You know what I'm saying? So I think Law going into OP04 is personally hands down the best deck in the format. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay,
I don't know if I want to run it, because
definitely
I don't
a top
know.
2 deck. Definitely a top 2 deck for sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know if I want to run it because sometimes it doesn't make me happy as it used to. But
I get that. I feel a lot of people have that big frustrations with Law. I've had big frustrations with Law before. I've said in this podcast, like, that's going to be the first ban leader. And I've changed that. They need to actually ban Whitebeard, Edward Newgate.
For sure.
This card,
Yeah.
we can segue this into OP04. Okay. Competitive, casual OP04. I always say, if you want to play competitively, Whitebeard's, and you're newer to the game, okay, Whitebeard's probably going to be the best deck you can play. And
For sure.
honestly, the best results. Every deck, even the newer decks, have a hard matchup into Whitebeard. If you have a good matchup into Whitebeard, you have to draw well to actually make use of it. Like, even Rebecca has a good matchup. You have to draw. What's that? Is it a 4 cost or something, or a 5 cost that can get rid of a -4 to a unit?
Or Orlumbus is a 4 cost.
Yeah, Orlumbus. If you have Orlumbus, that's great. You'll do well into Whitebeard,
Fantastic.
and then you'll actually you might just win Whitebeard, right? But you have to actually not brick. And some Whitebeards have a strategy against Orlumbus, right? And even that now. So Whitebeards always have a plan under their big strong hat. So it's bad.
Whitebeard is very, very good, man. I don't think that leader will almost I don't know. That leader is so good.
Yeah.
The cards are really good. Everything about it is really good. It can pivot in so many different ways. The builds can be so different and still be so optimal.
Yeah. It's kind of frustrating. I find it frustrating. I think most competitive players that play Whitebeard, they usually say, sorry, I'm playing Whitebeard, right? They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some people that just I think the deck is a fun idea. The leader's a fun idea. I thought it was going to be like a kind of a cute leader, but it ends up being like really, really destructive because it's such a fast deck. It's faster than Zoro even.
I think Whitebeard is like, I actually don't shame people, or I don't give any ill will to people playing red in general, whether it's Law, Zoro, or Whitebeard, because a lot of the times they also just want to win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to win, okay, and you're having a hard time rocking and been playing with your Magellan deck, right, and it's just not doing it for you, and you've been trying, well, you could probably pick up Whitebeard and just do a lot better with it in general. So I totally understand. Like, I'll be paired up with people, and I'll be like, "You're playing Whitebeard today, so you want to win today, right?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Cool."
I usually give them a thumbs up. Like, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
I just find it frustrating as a competitive player, thinking to myself, I can't play this deck because Whitebeard exists.
Sure.
That's basic,
fair.
Because Whitebeard, it's just so broad. You could say the same thing. Oh, I can't play this deck because Law exists. I can't play this deck because Nami exists, right? But Whitebeard's I think everyone that people can't play Katakuri because Whitebeard exists. I think that's a hard matchup. I can't play. Yeah. I think Queen is actually, you have to luck sack, I think, a little bit to beat that now.
Yeah.
And I'm playing Queen, so that's even worse. Oh. So yeah, I'm kind of degenerate like that. It's kind of bad.
Are you gonna drop Dofi for Queen, or
Blue Doflamingo? It has a hard time into some of these cards, so I haven't tried it. So I am doing that. I might. So I think at this point, Blue Dofi might be my pet deck. Even though I've been so into, because Blue Dofi is strong. How can a deck get worse, right? But when I'm having a hard time as Blue Dofi into Whitebeard, that's the issue. When good players are now playing Whitebeard really, really well, and I can't beat Whitebeard players, I'm like, well, why the heck am I even playing this deck? Like, this sucks. I have to play Whitebeard to beat Whitebeard. I might have to do that. Right for something, and I almost want to advocate everyone play Whitebeard until it gets banned. Pretty much, we just need the Eggman to say, yeah, it's too strong, and maybe I saw a tweet like that. Someone mentioned it.
I think Eggman needs to just snap it away. You know what I mean?
Eggman can do anything. He just wave his hand, Whitebeard gone. Maybe not. I don't think he can pull that twice. Maybe that's too strong because
it's a one-trick pony right there.
You think so? I don't know if I think we talked about it before the call. We talked about Knoxville. We're not going to Knoxville, right? You're not going to Knoxville.
No.
But there was a 2-minute drama that happened there where they said it was going to be OP03. They said we apologize. Well, there's an issue with the distributors. I don't even remember what it was. that's going to be OP03, but side events you can do OP04. And
wow, I didn't know that part.
yeah, no, side events you can do OP04. Everybody was like pissed off. People were like, "Oh, good thing I didn't get my tickets. Oh, I'm going to cancel." You know, a lot of people like should have canceled. And then 2 hours later, they posted, due to your feedback, we're going to be changing that so we can have OP04.
Yeah.
Sorry about the misunderstanding. Which, I'm happy that they're able to do OP04, right? I'm not even going there, but I'm happy they're able to do that. But a lot of people like on Facebook and Twitter, they're like confused. They're like, whose fault is this? I don't care normally.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of funny how the community can get so pitchforky really quick about that.
Yeah, riled up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say that. I think with having it OP03 in the beginning, and them quickly backtracking. Honestly, if I had my Knoxville ticket and I knew it was gonna be OP03, I'm gonna be spending money on either a hotel and an Airbnb and the flight. And if I can get all that money back, I totally would have canceled. Straight up, I would have canceled. Because like I think a big draw for Knoxville is the fact that it's the first OP04 event, right? So that's huge, man. Like I mean, you're gonna find out what is viable. Like is Queen Copium, is Dofi Copium? Like how good is Rebecca? And we're gonna find out all those things, a little bit in Knoxville. So
I think that's really interesting. If it was advertised like months ago, this is still OP03, I don't think that many people would have went. Well, there's Luffy on the line. You get at least 500 people to go. So but there's definitely people that are just kind of done with OP03. I think most people were done in OP03 when OP03 came out, to be honest. But it was it was the beginning of summer, so everyone, the game got really popular. YouTube got really popular for people, right? Mine kind of blew up at some point for that, which was fun.
Let's go.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. I went on, this is what happened, dude. I had like 200. I had like less than 200 subscribers. I mean, I have like over 600 now, but I had less than 200. I went camping. I released like a podcast and like my Doflamingo video, and like it was a total clickbait video, right? And I came back and there was like, oh my god, I got like over 100 subs. Like this, so that was like really big for me. At the time. And so I come back, we're driving back, and I'm just like on my phone like, oh my god, this is so cool. I get to read all the comments for the first time. So and then I started to read the bad comments, and I'm like, oh no, just really? do you ever get like any really bad comments?
I mean, I think as like content creators, I feel like you're always going to get bad comments, just because I feel like there's some person someday that's like, you know what, I just want to cause a little, cause a little.
I mean, is it just like talking about, that build sucks or this take sucks? Like someone's playing kind of advocate against you. I don't know what that looks like.
No,
I have people that comment that I'm just like, oh, I kind of just I don't ignore it, but I see it. And I'm like, okay, that's a weird take, but okay.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes like for my Katakuri deck list that I did, that video did pretty well. And for that deck list, I was testing it quite a good amount, and I had I think I had 4 or 3 Brulee in there. And at the time, people were like, there was like a couple people that were like, dude, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, why would you? That card is so bad. Like, you don't see people running like Hancock in their blue decks. Essentially, it's the same card, right? But I'm like, it's different, and like, and that's fine. Like, dude, I totally. The thing is, like, I obviously bad comments, good comments, it's more engagement. So I always say shout out to the haters, because obviously, you know what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's fine. You know what I'm saying. But yeah, someties it's like deck lists, like comments like that. And
it's really strange because you probably explained the context at least a little bit.
Correct.
But people don't because like Brulee overall terrible card. I agree. However, it's the only blocker in yellow, so it's the best card. Or I guess one of the only 2 blockers in yellow that matter.
Sure.
And it's also a trigger card you can control. So super good card now. All of a sudden context changes.
And it's pretty versatile. Like, technically speaking, you can go 8 cost, put it back. You know, you can see it in your life, throw it to the end. Like, there's so many things you could do. You know, So,
I mean,
but
and the thing is,
obviously,
people would play the blue Boa Hancock trigger if they had room, because that
Right.
card, and I'm sure you did Did you do super pre-release with trial
I
deck?
did.
That was cracked. Like you play against Croc, that was the only thing that could do
Yeah.
that. And you'd face a Croc, they proc one of those, you'd be like, well, guess the game's over. That was
Yeah.
that would actually decide some games, like one Boa Hancock
Yeah.
coming out of flat.
For sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah, but the comments sometimes it's like good, sometimes it's bad, but yeah, I mean it's pretty like I think average. I don't think it's anything like too like harsh. No one's like coming after my family or anything like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
there's no Danny Dangs. There used to be someone named Danny Dang in Vanguard. He would like swear like a bunch of swear words in your comment section, basically calling your deck trash and you're like the worst person in the world. And if you ever get a Danny Dang comment, it was like you hit YouTube fame. You're like, oh dude, this is basically Vanguard fame. Danny Dang commented on my video. So I think that's a good thing to see those. I think we need a Danny Dang in our own comment section. So
you know what? Actually, I have gone. Okay, so I do these like series of videos every set where I kind of name a deck like a little more overrated, and I just say a deck's overrated essentially. Yeah. And I do that. I've done that for like almost every single set, and I am expecting negative feedback sometimes because there's gonna be people like this past one I did a paddock. Yeah, and they just love that character. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that are like huge Boa Hancock fans, and if I were to say Boa Hancock sucks, they're going to be like, "Oh my god, you're the dumbest person in the world," right? And I get it. You know, you love Hancock. I get it. So those can get pretty nasty. Those can get pretty nasty pretty fast. I've had like people call me like just like really stupid, like idiots, and like you're like such an idiot for thinking this, or like things like that, you know. But nothing cuts.
Definitely
deep,
nothing
you know?
constructive, right? So
No. No, I'm definitely just the punching bag for the day for them.
That's
which
pretty
is
good.
fine. I mean,
do you have any hot takes, or not? Maybe not a hot take, but for OP04, at least for a deck that's overrated, I think might be Katakuri to me. That's already, but
really,
listen, here's the problem. Yellow's my favorite real life color. Okay, so I wanted to make yellow work. Okay, but yellow's card quality just isn't there. I guess with the Sanji, it's pretty good.
I have some very strong opinions like on. So I've been waiting. To do a tier list because of whether red cards are going to come back or not. But I have very strong opinions on what I think is tier 1. Tier 1.5.
Okay.
And I feel very strongly about those opinions.
Okay.
Obviously, we know it's obviously just whatever we've been testing and what we've been seeing, so no one really knows, right? But I used to think Katakuri sucked pretty hard, and I thought that before the starter deck. I think that they got a lot of like really positive cards for the deck through the starter deck, and then with this new set, oh my goodness, dude! I think yellow like shoots up in my book like crazy. I think the
just
addition of
because
beige,
of a couple vanillas and a beige.
I mean, beige is really good. Beige is really good. Beige, Sanji, and I think overall some of those vanillas like boost up the consistency pretty hard. You know, I don't know. I think Sanji beige.
Maybe you're right.
Alone. I'm gonna say it now. Okay, all right. I think Katakuri is top 2, easy. Easy. That is, you know, I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
Okay.
It might be a hot take for you.
Maybe,
but
maybe I haven't done enough testing, so I honestly, you know, at this point, it's always just opinion. At this point, you know, I can't.
Of course, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I'm over here just the Whitebeard's up here. Everyone else is just trying to figure out what they can do. That's me. That's in my head. Obviously, people can play around that, and people can. But yeah, I can see why yellow's card consistency went up. I guess. I mean, the deck's very vanilla too. Like the vanilla is good, right? So
yeah, it is good. Yeah, I mean that's like a big reason why. Like, I mean, Whitebeard has a lot of really powerful vanillas, right?
Yeah. Well, even the vanilla cards, but like what it does is very vanilla. It doesn't have like some complex win condition where you need to have 2 cards in life, 2 cards in hand, a big cost on the field.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like when I'm playing Katakuri, it feels a little like autopilot. Sometimes. But
that's this game sometimes, like
Yeah,
Nami
yeah,
can
yeah.
feel autopilot. Right. So
That's a hot take. That's a hot take.
is it? I mean, is it?
I think so.
I think
I think
that's
so.
just a take. I mean,
Yeah.
I can boil One Piece competitively down to like whoever makes the least amount of mistakes during and before the game will win. And you can boil it down to that. There's a lot of things that can happen with
Right.
luck and things
course,
like that
yeah.
over time. But whoever makes the least amount of mistakes will usually win. And
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the only difference is that I agree with that opinion, but I feel like some decks you can actually misplay more than others.
Oh.
So like
yeah.
I feel like even though you might have misplayed more than I did, if you're piloting Whitebeard or if you're playing Katakuri, you can make more misplays and you'll still be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
In comparison,
Doflamingo was like that. If I made one mistake, it was over. It sucked.
Yeah.
It was not a good time.
Yeah.
But
no, I agree.
You could probably make two mistakes in Whitebeard playing the wrong card or not attacking the wrong thing and still like at least be there. So
Yeah. I did like I did a short where I asked people at Pasadena what they think is the biggest brain deck, and a lot of people said Zoro, a lot of people said Nami, right? So what do you think is the biggest brain deck?
I watched this short too. OP03, it was, I think, Lucci. Lucci was really, if a really good Lucci player was piloting it, for some reason they just have some sort of sauce. And that was like 1 in every 10 Lucci players, and there's not a lot of Lucci players. There was something going on. But set 4? Why I haven't even thought of that. The most big brain deck to play in set 4? It have to be something that's winning. No, Blue Croc is so simple. So simple. I was gonna say that, but maybe it is Grape Dofi. There's not enough. There's not enough complication in Grape Dofi to make that completely viable. I'd probably say for this set, it's gonna be simply probably just Law. That's my thought. They have to navigate new matchups, and even Rebecca matchup. There's ways to work around Rebecca matchup, right? It's like probably Law's worst matchup, but there's ways to work about it. Sure. Have you talked about that? What those ways might be?
Rebecca. I think.
Are you playing Rebecca so I can tell you the sauce? So I don't.
No, I am not playing Rebecca. I don't. I think one of my most overrated decks, in my opinion, I think is Rebecca.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's like where I am on the fence on that deck. I think it's really, really good. And I personally think it's the hardest to pilot right now in OP04, and then I think it's Law right after. But yeah, what's the sauce?
Oh, the sauce is let's say you're playing Law against Rebecca. The strategy is you don't play any cards. You just swing big first with your leader, because that way they have to discard more cards, or they can't get out of it all, so they can't use Rebecca's skill almost at all. Right. That's what even Whitebeard does. And then when you have enough Dawn, you can just play 5 cards and use leader skill, and you don't really have to care about one card dying at a time. It's easy to deal with one threat at a time, but it's hard to deal with multiple threats at the same time.
Yeah. So it's hard too, because Rebecca doesn't even attack Law in the beginning. It doesn't need to. So, which is why people are attacking Sanjis to take their own life. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. I think that's actually one of the more cracked cards for Whitebeard. Is actually Sanji. People have that card. And that's the sauce. If you guys heard it here, play Sanji, put it down, that's a 2 Dawn investment for a 7k attack. That's nuts. And you're already going to take your life. So what's the issue?
True.
So
true.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, but it's not crazy.
Yeah, no.
It's actually that's just legit broken. I think that's
Yeah, it's really, really good. I'm telling you, I think Law's just absolutely nuts. This format, it's always been nuts, but this I think in this format, I think he just
Yeah, I mean, no cards really changed it for it, right? It just kind of switched up a few things, and now
we're using older cards now. We're using cards like Sanji. What the? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
That's
know
crazy.
what you're saying. I mean, always the react. It's who you play against and knowing the matchup, right? And
Right.
I mean, you're not on the Will to Win Discord yet, but with
Hey.
that, and for the tier 3 and above, we're working on something. And it should have already been done, to be honest. But we have every OP04 deck lined up. We just did Whitebeard. We go over everything, but the most important thing is go over every matchup, because that does matter. And that can actually tell you, we actually tell you a lot to do in the inverse if you're facing Whitebeard. And because that's really what it is. If you're playing Whitebeard, how does the other deck supposed to beat you? And that kind of tells you what you should do against it. And that's how I reverse engineer how I play against any deck. I see, well, what's their win condition? How can I front that? Like yellow, their win condition is to get late and have a better board at your opponent, and also play 10 drops. But if your opponent doesn't have life for you to take, like when you hit the 10 drops, and your opponent clears your board and then goes wide all at once, then Katakuri can't deal with that. At the time, that was at the time before. Now their board's taller, so it's harder for a lot of decks to just easily remove Katakuri's real threats from before. Sure, so, I mean, they were just kind of weenie threats at the time, but now like they're 5/7s and 6/8s are actually threats normal decks can't get rid of. So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Whitebeard's good.
Yeah, I suppose so. But yeah, okay. This has been a pretty good episode. I did want to go over your channel's been popping off even more now, right? You went over. Are you with over 3,300 subs right now?
I am over 3,300. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. I literally I hit every 1,000. I've been doing a giveaway for my playmats. And a big thing for the whole playmat thing is that I want it to be super like accessible for everybody. I'm not trying to like use it as a cash cow type of deal. So at 1K I gave away 1, at 2 I'm giving away 2, then at 3 I'm now giving away 3 playmats right now.
I have a question.
Sure, shoot.
When it comes to giveaways, when people enter them, I guess I never really entered a giveaway. How do they do that? Because I've done giveaways to my comments, and then that person never messages me back, and I don't know what to do. I need to do another giveaway, and I'm like, dude, I just got subs for no reason. I need to give away this mat, and he's loser dog.
Yeah, so I pretty much obviously we have like a comment picker that also filters out subscribers and like likes and all that good stuff. So usually what I do is I just comment back on that same comment and I wait like a week. And I don't think I've ever had a person that hasn't gone through with it. Everyone's done it. And funny enough, I think the second giveaway I did, Batu actually won one.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of hilarious. Because I was like, I saw it and I was like, Batu, wait, really? Like, that's cool. But yeah, I just respond to them, and people are pretty great. The only bad thing is like trying to get contact info from them, because a lot of times they don't want to give me their email, or they don't want to like, and I'm just like, dude, I have to get this stuff to you. How am I supposed to get it to you if you don't give me your information, you know? Like even if you plug in your email on my YouTube channel, like there's only going to be one strongest wizard that you're going to like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, are they trying to comment you their email? I always I always ask them, what is your Discord? And then they'll usually just
give it to you.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, because they don't really care about their Discord name. Right.
Yeah, I do the same thing. But sometimes some people don't even feel comfortable giving their Discord name. So yeah, but the giveaway's been pretty good so far. I think I have like over like 500 entrants right now, which is pretty insane. That's pretty insane, dude. The last video that I did for the giveaway, so when I hit 2K about 2 months ago, or like a little over a month and a half, and so hitting 3K was like crazy for me, you know. So I'm very, very happy, very, very pleased.
So humble.
You know, very, very. Dude, I'm just honestly, that's
great.
I tell people all the time, like either people love my channel or they hate the channel and love the playmats.
Oh,
Either
really?
one. You choose. You choose which one you like and hate. That's
Now,
fine. I'm okay with it.
I'm sure we all appreciate One Piece content creators, right?
Sure.
And I do always get complaints about a certain content creator. Not you. You do great. Everyone
Oh,
likes you. Okay. But I
I was
always
like,
get
oh man.
complaints just because I think it's the quality of the play or something. But they're very popular, and I think they're like a cool
Huh.
guy. I think it's Los
Okay.
Fiends. Los Fiends is pretty cool
Oh,
dude.
okay.
And I mean,
Okay.
I don't like hate their content or anything. I just don't think people
Yeah,
like
yeah.
their deck lists, so they get like the most hate because they're deck lists.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't spend too much time watching other people's content just because it
Mhm.
just takes too
I get
forever
it.
to edit and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like, there are a couple people that I do still watch that are
Mhm.
like super super good, obviously.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have heard that sometimes the deck list can be a little outlandish sometimes. But I also too like as a content creator, there's sometimes people that do stuff just for the reaction, honestly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's because they think that way or because of the reaction, but either
Mhm.
way, man, it is what it is,
Yeah, it might be like a whole thing people can get into, but I mean,
Yeah,
most of these content creators
maybe.
usually have some sort of winning backing, or yeah, there's
Yeah.
never like a content creator that's all like always just loses. I mean, I guess there
Yeah.
probably is, but the ones
Yeah.
I know of, they're usually like, oh, I got top 8 here, or I got top 8 there, or I won this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, and there's like
Yeah.
a special breed of cross who's pumping out content and also just winning. So
Yeah. Yeah. Nutty. Absolutely nuts. Yeah. When I hit top 16 at
Mhm.
Pasadena, people were like, okay, your channel's actually like, people are going to listen to you now. And I'm like, what? What? What?
Why did that change anything? I always say with
I'm
mine,
like, bro.
yeah,
I'm like, it's funny because this is the first time I even used Kid at a tournament. Like, I was telling a whole bunch of my friends the day before. I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna do well at this tournament at all. I'm taking Kid. Like, it's a good time, but
Mhm.
and the people are like, yeah, your channel's a lot more like
Mhm.
verified now. And I'm like, what the
Yeah.
heck, dude? No
Yeah, no
way.
doubt, no doubt. I mean, it was already
I didn't.
verified before. It's just funny. I mean, I thought you were just, I like, oh, this guy's probably not a bad player. He can't be
Yeah.
bad. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's see how it goes. And then you were 6-0 at some point, and I'm like, oh, they're 6-0, and I'm like, oh, okay, dang, he's doing really good. He's also lucky too. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, TCG,
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I was 6-0 at some point. I was like, dude, I'm so lucky today. Can't believe it. Can you believe this luck?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, did anybody during that day, was everything pretty solid win, or was there a time where your opponent, you think, made like a mistake where, that really, I had a big one. I don't know if you watched my vlog on that or my
Mhm.
long video, but
Uh-huh.
to give you context, a law player put down a Bonnie and he didn't pick it up with law skill. He like picked up a Makino and placed down like another card, right?
Oh
And
wow.
so his Bonnie was just exposed, and I attacked the hell out of it. He actually defended the hell out of it with his hand and blockers.
Oh my
And
god.
even after that, I barely won, like barely, against the law as Doflamingo.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I didn't have a time where I messed up, but there was my round 6, I believe. I played against Kevin, who ended up winning the tournament.
mhm,
Kevin is a phenomenal player, obviously, multi Luffy winner, and we sit down, and I know Kevin personally; he's a very cool guy, and so we sit down, and he's like, "Dude, you're gonna destroy me. Like, I'm running Whitebeard, your deck literally destroys mine." And then the whole time I'm thinking to myself, "Yeah, I'm definitely gonna beat this guy right now." Dude, I was so in my head, I was so cocky about it. Because like he's like telling me it's a really good matchup. I've tested this matchup a ton. I think it's winning for Kid, and I'm feeling good. And in the entire game, I didn't see one single 5 cost card or an 8 cost Kid. So I literally my opening hand after Mulligan was like triple beige and 2 Kid type of deal, and like 0 acceleration, and I'm just like, damn. This is gonna be so rough. And there was a point where like he had like 10 cards in hand. He was all tapped out, and I could have swung for like, I don't know, like 10, like 11 or something like that.
yeah.
And I thought about it. I was like, should I go for game? I'm like, he has 10 cards. There's no way I win. I'm just gonna lose. I'm like, I'm gonna play it safe. And right after, Kevin's like, dude, you had it that one turn.
Oh,
I'm like,
damn.
oh no. But obviously, deserves to win. Dude, it's insane. So
Okay,
you know.
got it. Dang, you could have took him out. God damn
I know.
it. That's fine.
I know.
I mean, the thing is, playing this game perfectly is so hard, especially at those crucial moments, right?
Right.
Especially against like really good players. Not because they're just anybody else when you sit across from them. They're just playing Whitebeard.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah. It's
Yeah.
I'm sure you've won games because someone's made a mistake against you.
For sure.
Or the other way
For sure.
around. So yeah.
And that's why I love the in person, because you know I can kind of be like, you know, I can kind of get that vibe and that feel when to go for games sometimes, just based on their emotions, you know.
Yeah. Now, how did it feel to bubble in? You bubbled in.
Oh,
X2.
dude, I was literally like, Jackson came up to me and he was like, dude, you're gonna get your invite today, and I'm like, no shot, bro, no shot. And he's like, yeah, you're going to get it. And so a whole bunch of my friends and I from DXN were hanging out, waiting for the standings. And I'm like, I don't even want to look. There's no way. Jackson's blowing shit up my ass right now. No way. And I see I made 15. And dude, I like start like low key screaming. And like we started like jumping around. I'm like, let's go, dude. Like, that's so crazy. And then everyone was like, dude, you played Kid. And there's no other like non-red deck in top 16, and I'm like,
good,
no way. I'm like, dude,
better.
Even better. I was like, let's go. So yeah,
you only lost to you lost to the winner and lost to somebody else. So
yeah,
it puts you up really high, actually.
Yeah. The other guy that I lost to is Nico. Same team as Jackson, and dude's insane. And the whole entire game, I just felt like I couldn't do anything to win. He just was like always a step ahead of me, but he did really, really good. He I think went X2 as well. So by him doing well, it helped me up. But because I lost to I lost to obviously Kevin. It really, really saved me. So
got it. Yeah.
You know,
that's interesting. I however bubbled out 17th, but you know, I think everyone always says to me, "I am so sorry." And you know what I say to that? Can you just buy these cards? I appreciate it. If you bought these for me, I would feel less bad about it. So by the way, I should have maybe plugged this in. If you want to support me, maybe just buy one of these shiny cards. Okay, so that's pretty good. Did you do you still have any of those cards, or did they end up in your wallet somehow?
I got those cards in my hand and I just blew them all away, and cash came into my hand. I sold those cards. So
what a beautiful trophy that is! Cash. Isn't cash such a good trophy? So
yeah, dude,
that's pretty good. I don't know. Did you already have like that playmat? I'm sure you're in need of a top 32 playmat, because you need playmats, right? You're in short a supply of those.
It's funny because I was actually gonna be part of the giveaway I was gonna do is I was gonna give away that mat, because top 32 or top 32 mat's awesome. But when you have a strongest wizard mat, you know what I'm saying? Do we really need a top 32 mat? So
yeah.
But people convinced me not to do it. So
yeah, that's good. So do you have it still, or did you sell the mat?
I do have that's the only thing that I have left.
Okay, got it. Yeah, because I sold mine. So now that's all.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm a collector of mats, obviously. So I have a ton of different mats.
I don't know if you've seen my background. I have all these mats, just from Vanguard back here. Right?
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
Yeah, there's like a Worlds one that's right here.
Sick.
So I'm super cool, and
sick.
You don't see it, but I have like 6 playmats as all my mouse pads here, and 6 playmats over there for my other work, for my other desk. So Vanguard gave away too many mats, by the way. They'd have every time they have a set come out, they'd have a mat for the set and a mat for the pre-release, and they would just have too many, and you just get one for just showing up, and you'd be like, well, these are kind of cool mats. Like, they were cool. One Piece doesn't have that. They come in like a Bandai thing you have to buy ahead of time, like 6 months ahead of time, right?
Yeah, P Bandai, yeah.
It's pretty rough. I don't like that method of it. It's kind of strange. And it's just like a thing people buy to like sell in the secondary market in 6 months from now. Like there's one that's coming out soon, and the thing is, all these cards end up being irrelevant later. Like
sure. Yeah, the
new one that's coming out. Like all those shiny cards.
Yeah,
That
the
one's
Radical
hot.
Beam, the film not dude. Those cards look kind of crazy,
Dude. They look really good. The Field Nami looks way too good. That's actually just culture. They have culture.
That's super culture. Yeah, looks crazy.
Whenever someone complains about my card, I always point to Nami, like Nami cards. I'm like, bro, is this so? What's too bad? What is this? Is this where we draw the line?
Yeah. But I'm very excited, honestly, for that actually collection because I know obviously we don't know where red is going to be. We know a little bit in Asia right now. Red isn't doing too well in OP05. But there are other colors like blue and purple that are doing super good. And in that set, we get Blast Breath as well as Love Beam. More so Blast Breath, I think, is a super good pickup. Thunderbolt's in there as well. So
everything's fire in there. Like it looks really nice.
Yeah, except for Paradise.
Paradise looks Waterfall. Good. It looks good.
It looks cool.
But it's like it's definitely kind of a bait.
Give me Punk Gibson. Punk Gibson.
There's a Love Mellow in there too, and I was kind of shocked. Like, why? Yeah. Why is it look so? It looks really nice, and I think they actually call it. Oh, it's supposed to be Love Beam, but they call it Love Mellow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care. One topic I want to talk about was actually nationals. So with that, I mean, everybody has their national invite now because they restricted it. They unrestricted it so anyone could go, which is whatever. Yeah. So you're going to that. That's going to be OP05. What do you think about OP05 nationals? I mean, we're still far away. We don't even know what half the things are going to be. I think it's probably going to be a fun time regardless. But
yeah, I mean, hey, it's LA. It's going to be a ton of people. I'm assuming are going to we don't know the capacity yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be like
a 1,500 person tournament. I think probably.
Yeah, probably like 15 to 2. I think is what they're kind of shooting for because it is now open to the public. And yeah, it's going to be a super good time. I'm excited for. I've been actually buying a lot of cards in anticipation for OP05 to kind of get ahead of the curve a little bit. So yeah, I'm excited for the purple Luffy. I'm a huge fan of the purple red law, even though it's not doing like super hot over there in Asia right now.
I was doing really well.
Not as good as like Luffy and Sakazuki.
People are pretty high on Enel, and then there's people who are all of a sudden really low on Enel. I guess that deck's really frustrating to play. I've heard.
Yeah. So I heard it's like just a dangerous triangle right now format, where it's just those 3 decks just battling it out.
But I'm just surprised it isn't like a lot of just like, I mean, Whitebeard can't be bad, right? So,
like Whitebeard doesn't even exist.
I'm still hung up on Whitebeard, but you know, it's so funny, dude. They have a whole different restriction list than us. Like when I tell people that in other card games, like, wait, there's actually a restriction list for Eastern versus Western. I'm like, yes, and they're like, what? How does that even work? Like, I think it's pretty cool. We can kind of about that. So
yeah, I'm very interested to see if it's going to get lifted or anything like that. But I know, like for Nats, when I finally got my invite, I was like, dude, I finally did it. I'm so happy. And then like 3 days later, they were like, hey, by the way, anyone that's got fast internet can join the Nationals tournament of One Piece. And I'm like, obviously, I got like bittersweet.
You still get a 2-round bye. You know, we don't want to take away anything from you. We're very happy you did so well. Sure. Yeah, but anyone can go and win. So yeah, I think it being exclusive in the first place was really strange and really unique, and may have been like the thing is, I think it would have been a bad time for the game during Nationals. Only people that can go to Nationals would go. The rest of the player base at locals would be like, this is kind of lame. Like they feel excluded out, even if they weren't going to go anyway. Right. But now these nerds don't have any excuse at all. Oh, they get a 2-round bye. It might work against people. People actually don't know the bye system yet for Bondi. They think buys are actually supposed to be negative. And it's really weird.
As of right now, you know, obviously Bandai said that they're going to be looking into it, but as of right now, it is technically a negative. If like little Timmy that got his fast internet and got his invite that way. Goes like 7-2 versus my 7-2, which was buys, right? I actually think his will rank higher than my score because he has a history with those players, right?
Yeah.
And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, I'm very happy to have a lot of my friends that are unable to get their invite, because of whatever reasons, or they've been grinding and they just get unlucky or whatever. So I'm very happy that it's more accessible. At the same time, I got like my invite 3 days before, so
yeah,
it's like
it is kind of weird too.
Yeah.
The thing is too, I thought with the invite it would bring more of like if you got your invite, you get some cool cards there. The participation from the invite alone is going to be worth it. Like a lot, like $1,000 card. But now that anyone can do it, you're like, man, I'm probably not going to get some jazzed up $300 card I can sell to some guy.
Yeah, it's weird because for Digimon, another Bandai game, I got my invite to Nationals, same convention center, and the participation was pretty trash. So I am hoping it is not going to be that same kind of price system. Well, I think One Piece has done really good with their pricing, personally. So we'll see.
I just hope the secondary market still holds up because it's doing good right now. It's not as crazy as it was in OP01, especially with how much of the game is available. I'm sure I don't understand pre-release. I thought people they're not allowed to sell boxes, but now card stores just either all communicatively just say we don't care, and most card stores I know have just sold a bunch of boxes. Like last night at my locals, they went fucking hard, right? Everyone they bought so many boxes. They're like, hey, we have to limit to 27 total. We're getting 50 more on Wednesday, and compared to OP01, you would never see a box on the shelf. You'd have to ask people around this, and people were like, the thing is, the game was really cheap, but for high rarity stuff, it sucked. Right. And like I was driving around to Targets to every Target to see if they had anything and not getting anything. Right? Yeah. Just for fun. Yeah. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I do want to talk about one more topic before we left.
Yeah.
And that actually has to do with, I'm in the middle of doing this video. I'm actually having a hard time with the title of the video, but it has to do with time. And I find in this game, one thing that's very frustrating to me, and it's every card game, it has to do with time and slow play, and not even like on purpose slow play, just slower players. And a lot of time it ruins a lot of the fun for me. I almost quit the game in pre-release format, super pre-release format, because some guy took way too long on his turn, and it was like not necessary. Right. And it just killed a lot of the fun for me. Obviously, it's kind of in my head. I've always been really harp on like slow players. And it's really hard to say if someone's just new or things like that. I think it's kind of a sensitive topic. And obviously, everything's really opinionated based. Right. So I don't know if you had any opinion, no opinion at all. I put like a poll on Twitter to ask what their general thoughts on it were, or even like how long is okay before asking your opponent, can we make an action? And this goes down from a competitive level to a local level. I don't want to be the asshole of my opponent, but I'm playing a deck that takes 15 turns, and I take 5 seconds on my turn. You're taking 4 minutes to think about one action. I think there needs to be a little bit of a thing that happens where I can say after a minute and get everybody involved, hey, you need to make an action now because the game's not going, and it's kind of it sucks, right? So it's hard.
Yeah,
that's all.
I'm like super. I have like a lot of thoughts about time. People like slow playing and things like that. Well, first off, I know a lot of people are easy to say, well, just tell them to like hurry it up a little bit. But obviously, like when it comes to in person, sometimes people are kind of timid, Yeah. And sometimes people get like a little like nervous even asking, hey dude, can you like hurry up? Unfortunately, that's just card games, right? You gotta like let people know how you feel, and that those situations, I think it really depends on how long people take for their turns, depending on where they are in the match. If they're trying to I was at locals the other day and it was finals, and some guy was trying to counter out of an attack. There is I don't know how much time you really need to figure out. All right,
Mhm.
plus 1K, 2K, dude. How much time do you need to figure
Yeah.
out that you can counter out of this, or you're not going to? Because at a certain amount of time, you're just slow playing. Like there's no good reason at all.
Yeah.
But if you're at like your 10 dawn turn, you have 2 characters up, and you're playing law, and you're trying to figure out, all right, how do I successfully get a couple attacks
Yeah.
into shambles to do all this stuff? It makes sense. I think it just depends on where you are in the game,
Yeah.
at what turn.
I mean, there's a difference, and we can clarify those. If you're playing, this happened to some guy who's at a regional, and they're 20 minutes left in the round. This law player takes like 2+ minutes to think, and the game's gonna end either this turn, the next turn, the turn after that. It's gonna end really soon here. And the Whitebeard player like called the judge and said, "My opponent's playing too slow." It's like a big turn, and the judge ruled in the other opponent's favor, like the law, like, no, it's fine. There's 20 minutes left in the round. This game's gonna end in like 3 or 4, like 3 turns.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. But the issue is, it comes all of a sudden. There's like 10 minutes left in the round, and you're both at like 2 or 3 life, and you're like, yeah, I'm getting kind of nervous here. So yeah, and so then there's a difference between players that are intentionally slow playing. I think that's very egregious, right? That's fucking terrible. I think there's an issue in Pokemon right now. When I bring this up, my friend told me there's a big issue in Pokemon where there's this debate on how long are you actually allowed for an action. And even if the action is mundane, like if you look at top 2 cards, you have to choose one added to your hand, and they're both the same card. How long can you think about this action legally? And so they basically said it's bullshit. It should be 2 seconds. But 15 seconds is like an action. Right, they're trying to put it to 15 seconds in action, and no one wants to. No one wants to bring this up because no one really wants to be the asshole to you, like anyone at your locals or anything like that. I don't want to be a jerk, but I'm just trying to play the game, and it's hard, right?
Yeah.
So if things take too long, it really does ruin some of the experience, and
for sure.
I don't want to like ruin someone's first time, or like they're a little older or newer to the game, right?
Yeah.
But maybe just learn how to play your deck and maybe front load a lot of your turns, as in like just play your first turns really fast because they really isn't that much to do, so you have time later. There's things like that. I'm sure most people that are listening to this are probably good players. They don't have no issue with that. But they're maybe timid and not know how to ask your opponent, can we move it along? And especially you've seen games where it's gone to time, and the person who won should not have fucking won. So
for sure, all the time,
all the time, and it's kind of it's on both players at that point.
For sure, for sure,
most of the time. So I appreciate that opinion, but
it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything you wanted to talk about, shoot the shit about before we call this around?
I don't know. I think we kind of covered everything. Unless you wanted to come up with anything, or
no, I think we're good. Do you have any shout? Where can we find you? Your YouTube, your store, plug away.
Yeah. So you can find all my content on YouTube. My name is The Strongest Wizard. I just created a Twitter account that's like I hardly use, but I want to try to use, but it's like Strongest Wizard as well. I'll give you like the official tag and all that good stuff.
I follow you, so we're good.
Cool. And then my website where you can actually buy all of my playmats and check them all out. I currently have 27 designs available for purchase, and I have just started doing non-leader and stage designs as well, so you have both options, which is really, really cool. So if you're interested in any of that good stuff, check out the site, check out the YouTube.
All right, sweet. And thank you so much again for coming here onto the show. Maybe we'll have you as a returning guest, and 100% we'll see you at Pasadena. So
yes sir.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man, for having me on here. I really appreciate it, of course. Yeah. Obviously, I think we got to support other content creators, so trying to build each other up.
Appreciate it, dude. All right. See you in the next one. Ciao.